know if it was in the works. I think there was a push this season to add some stuff, and at first, and I've said it many times, I'm like, I wasn't sure I was down. I'm like,
Hmm.
I don't know if we need it, but what it does is actually play into what the experience actually is.
Mark, how's everything?
Everything is really good, thanks. How are you?
It's weird seeing you not on the island. First of all, I'm just used to seeing you on an exotic island.
If
So,
it were up to me, no one would ever see me except on the island. That's where I'm
fair
my
enough.
happy place.
First of
Yeah.
all, credit to your kids and wife for allowing you to leave on a luxurious work vacation constantly too. So,
Well, let's not get it twisted. I did this show back in 2001 when they came back to me and said, let's do it again. I said, look, I'm not going to Hawaii or any island where there's sexy single people and not bringing my wife. So she's
oh,
been with
perfect.
me for 5 seasons.
Smart man. That's the way to go.
She's gone from just kind of a invisible character in the background to now she sits in the control room during every bomb.
There you go. So now we know who's helping you out there, with some of these situations.
If you only knew. If you only
There you
knew.
go. Things are all right on my end. I'm here in Chicago. I figured I had multiple failed attempts joining the show, trying to apply. So now I finally get to meet you virtually, So
Well, anytime, when you're in town, let me know. We'll get coffee. I'm
there
easy.
you go. Perfect. I'm excited. I love the show. Like I said, I've auditioned and submitted multiple times for it too. So I'm a fan for sure. If this is the coming up, we're on the 5th season of the new incarnation of the show, which is it's pretty wild. We're already 5th time we're doing it since 2019. I see there is more trouble added for everyone with this globe light that's lighting up and stirring up some issues. I love the idea. Was this like something that just came up for this season, or has this been in the works for a while? Because I think it's gonna add some alarms for sure for everyone.
I don't know if it was in the works. I think there was a push this season to add some stuff, and at first, and I've said it many times, I'm like, I wasn't sure I was down. I'm like,
Hmm.
I don't know if we need it, but what it does is actually play into what the experience actually is, not what we think it is, but what it actually is. And what the
Mhm.
experience is you don't know anything about what's going on the island, and it's like that on purpose because not knowing anything has your mind go crazy, and in that, I think, is where you find answers about how you actually feel.
Mhm.
So like if you see a clip at the bonfire and you don't have a feeling, that's an answer to how you feel about your relationship. Or if you
Totally.
flip out about something that's not even a big deal in that clip, that's an answer. So now you have this Temptation Island light, which doesn't tell you anything except that something's happening. And I have to coach and talk to them about, look, when that light comes on, that doesn't mean anything except what you think it might.
Really, yes. It's a I mean, it's sort of like insecurities coming to light because it doesn't have to be maybe your person that's doing anything, but
You're
it
right.
kind of stems and there's more stuff
And
coming out.
and to that end, how you react to that could give you all the answers you need to know about what's right and what's wrong in your relationship.
Totally, because if you freak out over any idea or thought of something happening, then there's more deep-rooted things. It's fascinating, Mark. How much have you learned about relationships and people through the 2 incarnations of the show? You've been doing it for a while now. Is there anything that really stood out that maybe you and your wife talk about that you've seen about other couples that you've experienced through different generations too? Because now we're in the digital age too. When you originally started. Anything that really stands out, what you learned about the humans and relationships?
Well, I think the things that I thought I knew about humans are reaffirmed by this. I think that all of
Hmm.
us, I think all humans want to be seen and they want to be heard and want to know that they matter to someone else.
Hmm.
And also, the thing that has been reaffirmed by the show that is something that my wife and I talk about a lot is that when you have a problem or when I have a problem in my relationship, it's rarely about the other person.
Hmm.
And so I'm constantly kind of having that conversation with the people on the show and going, how does this clip make you feel? Or what do you see? And they're like, they did, they did, they did. And I'm like, well, hold on a second. You have no control over them. You can't change who they are. They may change, but that's not going to be because of you, right?
Hmm.
All you can do is look at you and how you relate and what your definition of a love relationship is. because I'm going to suggest that a lot of these things you're complaining about are things that have happened in relationships several times.
That's
And
right.
while you think it's that person, that's just another face with the same issue. So, my wife always says, look, the answers are, look inward. It's you. It's always you. It's always you. Take a look at yourself. And I make the joke, but it's not really a joke, that if I ever say anything that's like crazy wise on the show, it's probably something my wife told me. So I
Smart man,
co-opted it for
listening
you to do.
too, Mark. That's a big key of everything. Communication and listening, right?
Yeah, I mean, yes. And like I said, I try to remember this for myself, that guys tend to want to fix the problem.
Mhm.
And what I'm learning is there's no problem we need to fix, right? That's not my job to fix you, and your job is not to fix me. And I quoted this philosopher on the show, and I'm sure it'll be either cut or it's in the show, but I basically said the only thing I can do for you in a relationship is work on me. And the only thing you can do for me in a relationship is work on you. Okay.
Truth.
And then I understand, I love you, and I understand. And that's usually the step we miss.
Mark, I love the way you've always been. I mean, one thing about you has been consistent. You tell the truth. You know what I mean? You don't sugarcoat things, whether it's sometimes people just want to hear good things or certain things, but you've always kept it real. It's the most, I think you're one of the most authentic hosts, especially for a genre like this. And that's really necessary and needed. I've always appreciated you being candid and kind of, you know, not only insightful, but just being truthful to people who don't sometimes want to hear the truth.
Well, that's a high compliment, and I thank you. That is actually my goal in my life. Forget
Mm,
television. My goal in my life is to, how can I quit being full of shit and be more authentic every day? How can I be
yeah.
more authentic, and how can I strip away all the stuff that ego and judgment and all that stuff makes me want to be, so that I look good in people's eyes and this, that, and the other. I'm triggered by it all the time, but I'm constantly trying to say, what's the real? What's the real talk? What's the authenticity in this? And that's what I'm trying to talk to them about. Is like, okay, you say this is the problem, but what's really behind that? Like, what are we really talking about?
Hmm.
And as best I can as a TV host, create a space where that conversation can happen, right?
Absolutely.
Reminding them that, look, I'm just a TV host, but I'm a dude and I care about you, and that's for real. And
You're a
so,
real person too. You know, it's like you're a host, but you're also a real human that understands sort of you know, people and just real life things that happen to us in everyday life.
I'm just trying to figure it out, and it's
Yeah.
easier to figure stuff out with a team. It's easier to share it with others and be part of that. So in this situation, oftentimes it looks like I got my shit together, but the fact is, I'm only speaking from experience of failure. I'm only speaking from places of having tried the things that you're struggling with, and have some answers that you may not have, and some questions that you may not have asked. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
For this season, first of all, the seasons ever did they change for you? I mean, obviously you have different individuals, different personalities and stuff. Do you ever kind of like, they're all like your children, I guess, in each season? You know, it's unique to its own self. But what sort of thing excites you sometimes about a particular season or a group of individuals, and even specifically to this one?
Well, every season it's exciting to meet the new people
Mm-hmm.
and roll up my sleeves and commit. As even though it's just a TV show, I always say to them, look, I'm buying what I'm selling. I am 100% committed to you leaving this island in a better place than when you came. Right. So if you're not down to play at my level, you better catch up, because this is what I'm about. And so that is very exciting for me. That's life's work. That's the stuff I like to do in my life with people that aren't on TV. This season in particular, really strong personalities with legit issues that may be extreme in our situation, but entirely relatable to people in relationship. And
Mm-hmm.
they're struggling. And what's interesting is that the seasons kind of compound. So where in season one of this version, the cast may be like, who the hell is this dude? And why is he, trying to get in my head? Now people come to the island kind of knowing what I'm about and what the show's about, or what they think it is. And so when I start to get in there with them, and it's really not me getting in there, it's me going where they are,
Mm-hmm.
there's a willingness. There's a willingness to say, all right, well, let's talk, let's chop it up. And this season, there's some real strong personalities. And early on, with at least one of them, was like, look, I literally say, I'm not scared of you, and I'm not here to be your friend. You know, I got love for you. I'm committed to you, but I don't care if you like me. Right. And I don't know if that makes it on the air, but that's the kind of conversation we have. Like, I think at one point she says, she or he, I'm not going to say, but I said she,
Mhm.
you know, I'm not going there with you, Mark. I said, you're already there with me. We're already.
You're here physically too, so you know
What do
you're
you
kind
think?
of.
I'm going to back down from that. Like, that's like, okay. I'm going to respect your area. Look, we're in a bubble now. Let's go. There's nothing to gain by playing safe. And
Yep.
I'm constantly saying that. You guys chose to come here, so either let's roll up our sleeves, get into this, or you're wasting your time.
Man.
And they're usually willing to go because what I found is real talk about real issues, even when they're bigger than you could ever voice before. Once you open that up and start talking about it, your soul feels better, and you want more of that. So let's dig in deeper. Let's go deeper. Let's go deeper, and that's when it really starts to take off. And
No
this
question.
season,
Mark,
this season they go there.
looking forward to it. I'm a fan. Now we got a double night with the Big D following in. So it's a perfect back and forth here. Double the dose of love and and issues there. So
That's
for your
exactly
Wednesday
right.
nights, it's super cool to catch up with you. Like I said, I've been a longtime fan, and I really always, as someone that hosts and does these things and interviews, I've really kind of always looked up to you for your authenticity and just seeing how you've done things at the most, authentic level and relatable levels. So
thank you
for always
for
keeping
saying
it real.
and I appreciate it. And I'm just going to say to your viewers and listeners that the show's hot. It's a hot season. It is messy and crazy, but always with this sort of authentic heart in there too. So
Wouldn't expect anything less.
good.
Good seeing you, Mark. Hope we catch up with you again. Maybe I'll get cast on one of these seasons coming up. We'll see.
Or if you just want to talk about stuff, holler at your boy. I'll take care of it.
Perfect. Win-win. Take care, my friend. Thank you.